Hello. Unlike the previous video of ModCorner, Part 1 of Episode 1, this one will hopefully fit on your screen. I noticed after transcoding Part 1 that it was a little below 720p, and for some reason the studio I used to edit the file, instead of stretching out the image, just added a border. Hopefully I've remedied this situation now. Right. So I've shown you the automatic crafting, its various effectivenesses. Now, I'm going to show you what the rest of these things do. Like an actual machine built out of these blocks that does something useful. First, I'm going to load a set that I generally use to create systems like this. Okay. Any good building starts out with minerals that you have to mine. So, let's start out with those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. These are 2 queries. They will create scaffolding, which will then mine away this entire area. At least that is the hope. I will draw items out through the top, and I will power them from the front using the same set of repeaters. I really wish there was a mod to turn off all of these, like, for example, random animals. I'm sure there is, but I don't know. I just don't uninstall a whole bunch of mods. Right. Since one system will power them both, I should be able to fit it in here. Okay. Apparently these are going to be powered alternatively of each other. One will go and then the other will go, which works for frame rate. By the way, if you're having a lot of frame rate issues with this pack, there's actually a few things you can do. There is an option in BuildCraft that will allow you to essentially cheat by, instead of providing things with an alternating current, you can provide them with a steady current, and they will be powered just the same. This really increases the frame rate on machines like MacBook Pros that can't seem to handle the frames. So, just a heads up for those with MacBook Pros that are trying to find out how to play the game. And there we go. Now remember, these things do have to build themselves. So while they're building themselves, I will set up the system to pull these items together. I'm doing this really simple. You can make your own convoluted system once you install the mod. Okay. So there we go. We have this pipe. Let's figure it out. Okay, first, let's combine our 2 tubes and pull the items out this way. Okay. We now have a dual mining area, which is excellent. All of the things mined will come into a chest as a buffer, and the reason we're doing this is in case we get through a whole bunch of items really quickly, we don't want them disappearing. In fact, let's use 2 chests as the buffers. Now, when you give items two ways to go like this, they will go pretty much half and half, but the mod seems to prejudice one side or another whenever it decides to. Prejudice, jeez. So from here, and remember, these wooden things will need a current to be powered, so let's cheat. And use the same current here. Ah, I love that you can do that. That's another good feature. These pipes do not block off each other like pipes like you would expect them to. They don't block off redstone or anything like that. So, start the cycle. There we go. Alright. Once these start mining, we'll have a steady source of resources. And we can do with it whatever we decide to. By the way, the reason I'm pulling from two of them, even though it's only one type of item, is just to separate what I want and what I don't want. For example, right here, I can choose to instantly get rid of any dirt. That's probably what I'm going to do. Pig, I will murder you. Okay. And I'll place these here, just in case any of the items decide to run back of where they should. Let's just say for the sake of this experiment that we only want to keep cobblestone because we are building a giant place. Right? And I'll unpause when this finishes. Alright. And now it's been done. I've not moved since then, I've just waited for it. This one here has just started mining out the area. Note how it goes for the corner to start a grid pattern to then get rid of blocks slowly. And every block it mines is going to go through our system. Like now. And here we are. This one is also ready to mine. This one's already mining. There we go. Blocks are pulled into the system. This will shove them this way. They will be pushed into the chests. They will then be pulled out of the chests. And cobblestone will go this way. Dirt will go that way. In fact, everything else will go that way. Because we don't need it. So, we can just make a chest, or some chests, here, to store the cobblestone that we do want. And nothing that we don't. Whoops. Now, this is just one example of what you can do with this modification. You're welcome to do whatever you want. For example, I've made many places that will smelt items for the user automatically, content-based things like that. They've worked out really nicely too. These queries, by the way, are going to keep running basically until they hit bedrock, so notice that its industrial crane goes about and the diamond drill bit will mine things. These nibs sitting on the ground are just from the forest that had to demolish to build itself up. And note here how the items are being given almost evenly between the chests. And note, all of the dirt is being sorted out this way. Let's just throw all of our dirt in there. Alright. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a small smithing station. For example, one to smelt items. The easiest way to do it is like this. Make a box with a diamond area at the bottom. Okay. In the red spot, place a piece of coal. Now, coal will travel up to the top. Sorry, to the bottom. And every smeltable item will travel to the top. This is what we want. Then, make a pipe here. This is an obsidian pipe. It acts as a vacuum cleaner, sucking in any items that fall out of the furnace, because the furnace might be full. These also need to be powered, unfortunately. So just put one of them there. Put this down. You might want to put a directional feed here to make sure items don't go back on itself. And then you're pretty much done. You just place your choice of furnace in what would have been the right hand side of the box. And you can get items out of the machine by using a wooden pipe. Remember, each of these needs to be powered. And the easiest thing to do with this, the runoff, is to just run it back into the system. Generally what I do with the runoff items is store them back into the chest. There. Because then they can be pulled as they want to be. There you go. Items will be smelted and sent out this way. You can do with it whatever you want. Now, to actually review these mods. Single player commands. Awesome set of modifications. They let you do quite a bit of things, and hey, if I had a use for half the features, I would be using them. BuildCraft. Wonderful program. I mean, just look at what I'm doing right now. I don't imagine anybody doing this with, like, there's industrial craft and some things like that. If this had an SMP mod, it would be wonderful. Zombe Fly hack. Well, it's a mod. You know, we always use it, whatever. However, I would like to say something quite positive about Opti-FPS and Opti-Fog. They are wonderful applications to which there's just no end to their wonder. They have given me such an increased frame rate. It's just incredible. I used to go from not even being able to play Minecraft to getting now anywhere between 50 and 500 frames per second. I mean, I'm getting 30 and 40 frames per second right now, and that's while recording. Right. This video's gone on long enough. 25 minutes for one episode is just ridiculous. I'll cut this down in the future by doing one mod per episode, but I hope you liked it. Please post back in the thread on Minecraft forums. You'll see it in the link at the bottom in the description of this video. And tell me if you like the series, because if nobody likes it, then there's no reason to continue it. See you later. This was ModCorner.